hear you. Perfect. So the other thing I'd like to do is to practice for other people being heard. So, Lisa, would you come and just stand? We're gonna have to ask people to stand here, stop spoken. You, and so what we're gonna do is have people stand here and then say their name. And then hopefully the owl will pick you up. So try it, Lisa. Lisa Sabatine. Could you hear that, Jen?
Yes.
Sure could.
Okay, and we can hear Jen. Perfect. All right, so it sounds like we've got good sound. And we want to make sure everyone understands that we are recording this meeting. So don't say anything that your mother wouldn't want to hear you say, okay? So we'll be recording so that people who aren't able to be here tonight can hear the proceedings.
Is it?
As all of you know, this is
I thought I turned it off.
that we have a wonderful turnout on a potentially snowy night. That's the beauty of Georgetown and why we all love being here. But it's a bittersweet night because tonight we're here for this special election because our beloved Bronwyn passed away in a very untimely manner. So what we'd like to do is have everyone have just a moment of silence for Bronwyn. So we're trying to do a moment of silence for Bronwyn. Thank you. Okay, so I want to just make sure that people online know that you are going to be able to communicate with us in two ways. One is to raise your hand and we will, then you can speak and ask your question. So the way you raise your hand, if you don't know how to do that, because very few of you are actually have your pictures up. If you did have your picture up, you could just raise your hand. But because you don't, you can go to react, which is the little heart on the bottom, and you'll see something that says raise hand. So if you click the react, which says it's a little heart, it has raise hand, and you can do that, and we'll recognize you, okay? I just raised my hand, and then you can lower your hand by pressing the little thing that says lower hand. All right. The other way, if you are shy and retiring, you can type your question in the chat if you are online. Okay? So two ways to communicate online. In this room, one way to communicate by coming to the center, stating the name. If you're online, even though we can see your name, we would like you to just state your name so that everybody can hear and know who's talking, because in the room, it's a little hard to see all the names on the screen. Are there any questions about that? So we can be here, as Jeff said, for 2 or 3 or 4 hours. I don't care. Until your questions are exhausted. But the point here is really for democracy at its best. So you're going to be able to ask the candidates questions and hear what they have to say. The way we've been starting these meetings off is by having each of the candidates make a statement, a brief statement, and then open it up to questions. And we'll just keep recognizing people for as long as you have questions. And then at the end, we will have, again, each of the candidates make a concluding statement and we'll call it a night. Any questions about that? Okay. B for Birdsell is before G for Gervina. So Jeff is going to start with his statement, and then Kathy, and then at the end, Jeff will make his concluding statement. Kathy will end us off. Go ahead, Jess, thank you.
Good evening, and thank you all for your participation. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jack Birdsall, and I've lived in Georgetown Center year-round since 1988.
1 second, Jeff. Can you hear him? Can you folks hear him? Yep, okay, so thank you.
My wife and I raised our kids here, who are proud graduates of the Georgetown School. My family has been in Georgetown for many generations and have always tried to help in town where we could. I served 6 terms on the select board, and my wife served 8 terms on the school commission. When I heard of Bronwyn's untimely passing, I thought a way I could help would be to offer my assistance and experience the select board for the remaining 12 or so weeks of Bronwyn's term. I know it's a lot of work being a select person, and I understand the year-end process, ordinances, warrants, budgets, all leading to town meeting. So that's why I threw my hat in the ring.
Thank you. Okay, well, I'm Kathy Gravino, I'm a candidate for select board in next week's special election.
Kathy, 1 second. Can everyone online hear Kathy? Can you hear Kathy? Yep,
I've
Bill
seen
says
that.
yes. Okay, perfect.
This special election is to fill the final few months of Bronwyn's term. It comes at an important time as the town drafts next year's town budget, looks at new ordinances and initiatives, and prepares for town meeting. If elected, I'll bring my skills, commitment, and experience to working collaboratively with our town office staff, with select board members, and with you, members of this community, to best meet those needs. Georgetown has been part of my life for as long as I can remember. Some of my earliest memories are at my great-grandparents' cottage at Bay Point. My parents and my grandparents are buried here. Our daughter was buried in the church just across the Bay Point Road where we are tonight. Bob and I built our own house at Bay Point in 2002. Georgetown is home. Georgetown is uniquely blessed with its long-standing working waterfront, its remarkable natural resources, its rich history, and the spirit of community that defines our town. Our challenges are similar to those of other mid-coast communities: development, an aging population, a decline in younger families, the effects of changing environment and human actions on our aquaculture and fishing communities, and financial pressures on the town. Over the years, I've gotten to know Georgetown in many ways. I've been on the boards of the Historical Society and the Friends of Seguin. I've served on town committees and working groups, the Comprehensive Plan Committee, the Georgetown Climate Change Adaptation Report Committee, the Tricentennial Committee, the Municipal Energy Working Group, Celebration of the Arts, the Route 127 Working Group, the Georgetown Attainable Housing Initiative, and right now I'm on the Georgetown Erosive Groundwater Project, WaterWise. I've been a member of the Conservation Commission since 2011, and I was its chair from 2022 to 2024. I'm on the advisory board of Friends of Reed State Park. And last May, Bob and I were honored to be named Georgetown's 2024 Citizens of the Year. My employment has been mostly in human services. I taught courses on healthy communities at the University of Alaska and at North Shore Community College in Massachusetts, where I was the head of the elementary education degree program for 6 years and interim dean of the Human Services Division of the college for 1 year. In those workplaces, I learned the value of organization, teamwork, process, and patience. I've learned to respect the people we served and the people who worked alongside me. People in Georgetown are hardworking and neighborly. We look out for each other and we care. Neighbors step up when help is needed and make things happen. We have a lot of ideas about how to make things work, and we share them. If elected next Tuesday, I will work hard with you and for you to address the needs of Georgetown. And I'll be happy and honored to have your vote. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Jeff and Kath. Okay, well, we're ready to kick off with questions. So who wants to ask the first question?
Sure, I'll jump in.
Come right on up. Perfect.
Question, Kathy,
Yeah, your name?
Mike Florina. Question for Kathy. So there's been a proposal to increase the select board size to 5 folks. I'd like you to please share your thoughts as well as how soon that could happen if appropriate. And similar question then for you, Jeff.
Thank you. I think it's a very interesting idea. I find the position, as I'm sure you did, to share, bring it before the town. I do look forward to a public hearing. I'd like to know what other municipalities of our size in Maine do, what our town charter says, and if necessary, how does one amend a charter? Does Georgetown have the human capacity to fill more positions on the select board? And those are questions that need to be answered before the town can, vote on it. Town meeting.
And if it's voted positively and you're on the select board, how soon?
How soon could it happen?
Yeah.
I think we need to look at how it's been done in other municipalities around Maine, if it has been done. I'm not familiar with what the process is for doing this, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about that.
I too have been in favor of 5-person select board. I thought that the petition had a schedule for bringing those folks in. There are a lot of towns that are our size that do have a 5-person board. Having done 18 years in the select board, I know it's a lot of meetings and it's a lot of work for a 3-person board. And I think that it's a good thing to do, and I hope it comes to fruition. We can vote on it at town meeting this year. Thank you.
Are there any questions online? Anyone online have a question? I want to try and make sure you can ask if you have one.
And I will keep an eye
Okay,
and let you know if we have
yes.
anyone pop hands up.
All right, so if you have a question online, we're not trying to boycott you. Please just raise your hand or send a chat to Tyler and we'll get to you, okay?
I have a question. Hi, yes, Jeff, I'll just pick up on that comment. So,
Please announce who you are.
oh, sorry, Aria E, from Georgetown. So in your term serving on the select board, was this issue, because this is a new issue, that's increasing the select board. Was that anything that was ever broached in your terms on the select board?
I had conversation, never really. It seems to me in the 18 years that I was on the board that it has become a bigger, more involved time frame. A lot
Why
of
is that, you think?
at just the complexities of life. I know that now that we have Zoom, it's makes it a lot easier for people to participate.
Right.
But it's a big commitment of time, as I'm sure you're well aware.
Sure.
And I think a 5-person board just makes it so that people aren't spread so thin.
And one of the things that you indicated is that there are many towns that do have 5. I was only aware of one, but I'd appreciate if you could explain the other towns that you believe have the 5.
When I was asked about it, I did some looking around, and there were quite a few towns about our size that I thought. Lisa, who did the participate, might know a list, but
Okay,
there are
great.
quite a few.
thank you.
Dave.
David Trigg, Valley Ridgeway, Georgetown. Thanks for doing this. What do you think is the most important issue in the town right now? And what would you do were you on the select board to help address that issue? One then the other. Ladies first.
I think for many people living here in Georgetown, the most important issue is going to be balancing affordability with taxes, with costs. It's things are becoming more and more expensive. Assessments are going up reasonably. In some ways, the costs from the county that are being passed on to us are going up significantly. And yet we are a town where we need to be aware of what our residents can afford.
Kelly, that's a correct. How would you go about doing something about it?
I think the town has done a really good job. Our leaders have done a good job of trying to keep fiscal responsibility. I would trust the financial planning committee in their efforts. I would trust the school committee in their efforts. I would see what other options are available to bring in resources from outside the town to address some of the expenses that we have. That would be grants, that could be programs, other programs.
I would agree with everything that Kathy has said. I would also think, I know housing is a concern. A big concern for me has always been, as long as I was a selectman, was forest fires. And just the whole changing part of Georgetown. I mean, Georgetown has changed a lot from a fully working waterfront community to partial working waterfront and residential and retirement, aging population. And so it takes a team of people working together, brainstorming ideas and working to improve the process, and the more town involvement, the better.
Thank you.
Other questions? Lisa?
Lisa Sabatini. Thank you for both of you for running. It's my observation that we have two very dedicated select board members who are working very hard. Hence my rationale for bringing forth the question about 5 select board members to share the weight. One of our select board members is brand new, was elected last June, has not sat through a whole year, the whole process. The other select board member has a year and a half, so done this process once. Knowing, being involved with town politics to some extent, there are ordinances that are coming up, and both of you have alluded to this. There are a number of ordinances coming up at this time of the year that will have to be reviewed by the select board and the legal teams. There's a budget that must be prepared. And there is a warrant that will need to be developed. So in my mind, whoever receives this job or is elected to this position for the next 3 or 4 months must hit the ground running. So I'd appreciate it if the two of you could explain to me your experience and why you feel as though, or if you feel as though, you can take on that challenge. Thank you.
I did it for 18 years. I stay in touch with the community members. I know the process. Just had a lot of experience doing it, so that's kind of why I ran, was because I could just go in for the few short weeks and assist and help them run board in any way I could.
And I've been part of town government for 15 years. As a member of the Conservation Commission and on various town appointed committees, I have watched the select board in operations. I know how they function. We've had a lot of different select board members who address it different ways. From my previous experience managing things, I know that I'm capable. I know that I care. I have the experience. I've been sitting in on select board meetings for several years by Zoom, just because I find this community wonderful and fascinating, and trying to figure out what makes it tick and what's going to make it tick better. and how I can help is really interesting. For me, this is an opportunity, to do something with all of that, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Diane Longstreet. I know you're running for the short term, but I'm looking at both of you and thinking, it doesn't matter which one of you goes in for the long term. We're gonna either have 3 people, with you came in, that don't know the whole scope of the government. Or you are only gonna go in for the short term, and you've been in there for 18 years, and I'm sure you're probably not gonna wanna go back in again. So that leaves the question of where we're gonna be when the short term is over. Can either one of you tell me that? Because we're gonna still be in a boat when this is over, because somebody else is still gonna have to step forward.
All I'd say is, well, we will have had one select board who will have gone through 2 cycles. We will have had one school board or one member who's made it through 1 full cycle. And there'll be another person on the board. That's the way it happens. We just, you build experience the more you do it, so.
Well, are you here until June that ends,
Absolutely,
term? Or
I did
June
18
the
years.
next term?
No, I'm doing just until the end of Rodman's term, just to help her.
So there'll still be an election for another candidate. June.
Oh,
Oh, absolutely.
there has to be, yeah,
All right.
Bronwyn's term is up at the end of June. So at that point, that gives everyone several months to convince Jeff.
I was gonna say, no, if either one of you decide not to do it again, we will be up with 2 new people coming to
But I
decide.
think you can honestly say that each of us has a lot of experience
Yes.
in this government in Georgetown. And
Mhm.
we'll bring our different experiences to whatever we do. I would also say that, we have an incredibly strong town office right now. And they are going to help all 3 of us, whoever the third one is, to keep things moving. And I don't think they get enough credit for what they do. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Anybody online?
No questions online. There've been a couple of comments, but I think we're probably sticking to questions.
yes. I'm going to encourage you people online. I know you're probably like squinting one eye out at the Olympics and the other eye over here, but we really want you to ask some questions. So if you're online there, how about some questions? That would be great. Terry, you're always good for a question, man. So come right ahead.
James Madsen from Georgetown. My question is about short-term rentals. There's concern about the stress it can put on the town. There's also concern about, for some people, it's the only way they can pay their taxes. And I don't know what's the outcome so far of the questionnaire that was put out, and I'm just wondering if both of you could sort of address how you're thinking about this problem of let's say short-term rentals. Thank you.
Okay, short-term rentals have historically, if you look at the history of Georgetown, we've brought summer people to Georgetown who become long-term people by providing summer lodging for people. So this is not a new thing. It's new in the way it's being done now and in the concerns that it is taxing, burdening our infrastructure in ways that are going to go beyond what we can handle. It's not, as you said, it's not a clean black and white situation, because short-term rentals bring in a lot of income for individual families and allow families to keep properties intact for their own children or grandchildren. But they do put pressure on our infrastructure, particularly emergency response and transfer station in particular. The planning board is looking at this, I believe, very carefully, and they did a wonderful survey last year. They had an astounding response rate of almost 50%, which surveys never do. So I think this is something that people in Georgetown feel very strongly about. And, I'm looking forward to the planning board's report on his recommendation, which I believe is coming later.
Well, again, as I agree with Kat completely. I know a lot of folks in town, that's how they've been able to hold on to their properties and then subsequently retire to become full-time residents here. We've always had a large seasonal rental population. It is changing with the new online applications and the ease of it and so forth. I'm curious to see how the planning board, what they brought forth from the survey and all of their work. Thank you.
Mike McDermott has a question. What is your approach to working with town staff, fellow board members, and residents? What is your approach to working with town staff, fellow board members, and residents? Why don't you start, Joe?
Always listen. Compassion in terms of working with an individual, guiding people when they need guidance. I've managed people in work, both at LOB and BIW for a long time. And the biggest and most important thing, I think, well, there are two things as a select person I think that are important. One is listening, and the other is knowing where every penny is, which is what Mary McDonald does so well for us.
And, I agree with you. But I would also add that I think that one of the things to do is as listening, is to keep an open mind to respect the person and people and positions that you're hearing. To look for bridges, to look for ways to collaborate, to reach a consensus or common ground. I think that we all have common grounds. We have very strong opinions about what's going to be best for Georgetown, but the bottom line is we have a very high percentage of people that care very much what's best for Georgetown. And I think if we start from that and realize that people are working toward making Georgetown the best it can be, and then look for at our differences and see where we have common ground, that's important.
Okay. We have another question from online, Sandra Yeager. You each were asked for the most important issue. What are some of the other concerns confronting Georgetown? So you each were asked for the most important issue. What are some of the other concerns confronting Georgetown?
Okay, I would definitely say climate change is a major issue, and we're seeing it just in the years that we have been here full time. Storms have increased in strength. The winds have picked up in ways that they weren't when I came here as a child, at least not as I remember. I think that we're doing a good job in Georgetown, recognizing that change is happening and coming up with ways to address it. I helped to write the 2015 Climate Change Adaptation Report, which was pretty much of a benchmark around the state, and other towns have looked at what we said then as examples to use in their own towns. We made recommendations in that for low-hanging fruit, low-cost recommendations of things that could be done that would get us better prepared for the changes that are happening. We did that. Comprehensive plan in 2020, which was approved by the state in 2021, used climate change as an underlying expectation for all their recommendations. Several years ago, the town, through the Conservation Commission, joined the Community Resiliency Partnership, which is a state entity that provides networking opportunities and also access to agencies that can help us to address different projects. It provides 100% match-free grants for climate change projects, and Georgetown has been fortunate enough to receive two of those. One to look at municipal energy needs, things that can be done to make municipal energy more effective, and the other one we're working on right now is a water study, groundwater study with Erasmus. So we're doing really well in that. I think that we've also been fortunate being able to network with some of the local universities. Bowdoin has had a resiliency study, community resiliency that they've studied Georgetown. UNH through Dr. Kinner has done studies of culvert capacity on a lot of our local roads, which is important because as rainfall becomes more intense at any given time, some of our culverts may fail. So we've had a lot going on there, but climate change is going to affect many things about our life. Big one is going to be the fire, probably not my lifetime. Anyway. Yeah.
One of my major concerns is the water table. This year was a good example where we had such a dry season. As I said earlier, fire danger has always been one of my largest fears. If we have a major fire in town, it's gonna be all hands on deck and not gonna end well. Declining student population in the school. And housing, not much I can do about any of those except continue the work that's going on to try to keep us ahead of the curve.
A question is in this room. I now have the people online who are doing they've stopped watching Olympics and now paying attention here, but are there questions? Come right on up.
Bonnie Drake. I lived with Dave at Georgetown. I like what you said about student enrollment. I personally think that's a big deal. And to up the student enrollment, I think one of the major things we need to do is talk more compassionately and harder about affordable housing in Georgetown. So the people who grew up here and who have lived here can afford to live here, because right now they can't. Because people are coming up from out of town, they're buying homes, they're renting them out. They don't care about Georgetown, they don't care about the infrastructure, they just care about the money. So let's make affordable housing a big issue, a bigger issue, so that we have people who grew up here, able to live here, and able to send their kids to school today.
Do you have a question? That wasn't a question.
That was.
Do you want them to address?
That was a statement.
Yes, yeah, yes,
That's what I do best.
I understand, but I'm trying to get past
So
this.
sorry. So I guess my question would be. Would that be one of your major concerns, or is that sort of a back burner type of thing?
I think it's a constant concern. Review, I think, was on the Georgetown Sustainable Housing Initiative.
Can you
And
speak up, please,
yeah,
Kathy?
I was on the Attainable Housing Initiative, and that group, although it is not meeting at this time, is still participating in statewide networking opportunities and conferences, workshops. We are looking for, I guess you could say we're looking for opportunity and leadership. It's a difficult question, as you know, because we explore all kinds of things, ordinance changes. There have been ordinance changes since then. The short term, not short, the ADU has been more has passed, but there's still a lot to be done. The other concern with that, though, is natural resources, because right now we don't know what our island infrastructure can handle in terms of water and wastewater disposal.
Well, there are a lot of options for groundwater or rainwater runoff. There's a lot of options that are not currently being used on water.
That's true. We can also educate people more openly about ways that they can they can improve water quality and quantity and disposal on their properties. However, state shoreline zoning and so forth, put definite limits on what we can do in the lot of it. We need to do what we can.
Jeff, no, yes.
Well, I have to agree, that the affordable housing is a huge issue. And unfortunately, in a lot of ways, what's currently existing is not gonna be affordable. And I'm not sure how we're gonna get ahead of that. The ADUs are helpful, but, this is an issue that's everywhere. It's not just in Georgetown. It's here in Maine, it's in Massachusetts, it's everywhere. And the young people today don't have the ability that all of us did in be able to get it. So,
And there are a lot of big towns that pay other others who pay far opportunity, taking great strides, make affordable housing work.
Okay. I'd like
It's
to,
hard to your take on.
Bob, I've got like 4 questions and then I'll get to you. The current select board is, quote, this is from Susan and Terry Turner. The current select board is, quote, finding its way, unquote. I understand it is difficult. How can you provide immediate direction to the current board until the town elections in June? Did you get that question? I don't need to.
I will just offer my experience in terms of reviewing of ordinances, budgets, town meeting warrants. I did it for 18 years, so I know the process quite thoroughly and I'm more than willing to jump in and help.
I would, excuse me. I would offer direction, certainly. I would offer what experience, what wisdom, what help I could. I would be I think I would be a helper. I have experience that would be used.
Okay, fine.
Moment. I thought everybody's asked a lot of very, very good questions, very intelligent questions. But if I understand the terms of this election correctly, we're talking about a roughly 3-month term. And affordable housing, short-term rentals, all of that stuff is long-term. It's down the road. What are the key issues we have to worry about during the next 3 months? And how are you gonna address those issues and keep us from going off the rails? Thank you.
Kathy, you want to start this?
Okay, I don't think this town is gonna go off the rails. We've got an awful lot of people like you, Bob, who are gonna keep us moving. But beside that, I understand what you're saying. I think the immediate release that one of us is going to bring to the select board is just being a third voice, a third opinion or voice in the discussion of things. And I think our immediate goal, our 3-month goal, is going to be doing the things that you described. It's going to be working to get the draft budget in shape to go to town for approval in June. I think it's going to be getting the ordinances and the town warrant together and dealing with whatever comes up in the short term that needs to be dealt with. And we have wonderful committee and commission and trustee, the cemetery trustees, that's what I was thinking of, but we have wonderful people in this town who are going to help us do that, as they always have. We have an incredible town office staff that knows the mechanics. They have the corporate history, if you want to call it that, and I think we're gonna do okay. Yeah.
I will go in, it's the long-term big issues, they're not gonna be solved in 12 weeks. This is just a one-person vote on a three-person board. I have the experience of going through all the warrants. I've worked with most of the committees over my many years. I just want to help how we can. I just know the process and would like to help for that short period of time, but I'm not here to solve short-term rentals, housing, water, earth, planet, etc. It's just a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a question from Susie Wren. Climate change is causing roads to wash out during major storms. Will you support reserve funds to repair those important roads to taxpayer properties? So the question was, will you support reserve funds to repair those important roads to taxpayer properties? Jeff, you start this one.
I know the road commissioner and has been looking at all of those, and I would absolutely support the fortification of the town roads that are currently in jeopardy. I know quite a few, but the state roads are the state's issue, and we would certainly push the state. I think they're already planning work on 127 up in Rouseck, but yeah, we need to keep our town roads up to snuff so that folks can access their property.
I would listen to the recommendation of the road commissioner and also the financial advisor committee, and I would also like to know some of the history of the town and how roads have been covered in the past, and I suppose that would be the town office staff.
Questions in this room? Because I've got more here. Go ahead, Mr. Evans.
My name is John Hens, and I've been here for almost a lifetime, other than 21 years in the Navy. But our Route 127 through Rouseck and Georgetown needs immediate attention. 3 months ago, 6 months ago, we needed to form a group. And Aria just told me, and Tyler's been talking with me about 127. What we have to do as a town in the next month is write a very firm letter. We need to talk to the DOT boss. And I will relate that to something I did back in 2007. I worked for Dale Savoy. I forget how many hours, 150 hours or so. I filled every single pothole on the Georgetown roads, and not one of those broke free. We are due for paving last year. We didn't get the paving because all the money was spent on the north end through Woolwich and up. The road was in horrible shape. And it takes a beating when BIW gets out or comes to work. But what we have to do, and what I did in 2007, Paul LePage was governor. He said he would give anybody 15 minutes on the phone or in person. I like the in-person approach. I got the okay to get Dale Savoy, Billy Plummer. I forget the other selectman. Road commissioner from Rouseck, and one selectman. And we drove up there and we had 15 minutes with Paul LePage. And it's made a very slight difference. We're not after the governor with our road. We are after the higher up in DOT for us to sit down with them and show them how to fix a pothole.
So John,
And it's,
what's your question?
my question is, what are you two, whoever is selected, gonna do in the next 3 months? To make sure that we get to sit down with somebody that's gonna make a difference. Correct the road surface before they pave over it this summer. Because as most of us, a number of us understand, we saw test boring going on in the upper marsh. In Rouseck, up near the Dairy Queen. That means they're gonna be working on that part of the road, bringing it up 3 years from now. But I need to know what one of you are gonna do when elected to help get 127 fixed before they pave it.
Okay, so Kathy, I think you start this.
Well, I think I have good news because I attended part of the select board meeting this evening and I believe Tyler mentioned that you have been working or talking with the state and then Georgetown is on the radar there, fixed it. What they're doing right now is temporary and then some patch meal or it's not piecemeal, it's not working. They're going to use a different type of or something. Anyways, the thing is, Tyler is on the full ball with it. I hope that Tyler, if he thinks of ways that our town can support what you're doing in any way, will let us know and we can organize for that.
Jeff,
What I know is that we have met with DOT down here multiple times. Going back to when John was here, subsequently after, and regularly working with the head of DOT in terms of getting 127, not repaved, but restructured, grading, etc., done. And we've come up on the list and we've gone down on the list, come up on the list and gone down on the list. The repaving that was done during the LePage administration was a very thin skin coat. They did no structural work below. All we can do is just keep badgering MDOT. And look, over in Goose Bay, they had a similar situation and they did a minor upgrade. They didn't do a full restructuring, resurfacing, build up from the bottom. And I suspect that's what's going to happen again here in this next round. I'm hoping that MDOT will do the right thing, but I know that everybody on this board, past boards, road commissioners, everybody has been regularly working with DOT and pushing that. I still have their business cards in my wallet, which I haven't needed for quite a few years, but you know, I reach out and call, and I actually talked to them when they were doing the culvert work here, and I got the sort of, yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. So all we can do is just keep at it.
John, is it still about the roads?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'd like to give someone else just an opportunity to ask another question. So there's a question from Mike McDermott again. Do you intend to run for a term after this special election? And I got a thumbs up from somebody else wanting the answer to.
That would be me, probably.
Well, I think we should give you both an opportunity to answer that.
I'm right now I'm interested in doing it. However, if things change and I'm not elected, I don't know, so.
Okay,
Definitely not.
okay. All right. Other questions here in the room? I don't want to be avoiding people in the room.
Nancy, if we could just have both candidates speak up, it's a little hard. I don't want to be here to stand too close to them.
Okay.
We could just hear back here. Thank you.
Okay. Other questions in the room?
We had hoped to have a microphone, but it had a lot of feedback with the outlet, so that's for what it's worth.
Okay. Are there other questions online? There are many variations on the question of what you're going to focus on the next 3 to 4 months. Is there anything else that you would focus on that you want to mention, other than what you've already mentioned, in the next 3 or 4 months?
I expect to see, proposals perhaps from the planning board, certainly from the financial advisory committee for budget and for, shape ordinances perhaps. And so I would expect that we're gonna be focusing on that.
What ordinances, I'm sorry?
I don't know, planning board is working
Oh,
out various.
Okay, excuse me.
We've got stuff going on with the fire department and, reimbursement for ambulance rides. I expect there may be something coming forward from that. We've got a working waterfront committee that's out looking at ways to build resiliency in our working waterfront. I expect we may be hearing from them.
Any,
Agreed.
all of those?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So I have a question. So there is a,
You say your name.
oh, so Aria Eve. There is a working waterfront committee that was formed, last year. And so, I want to know what you know about that committee thus far and what you think about having a new ordinance to declare Georgetown as a working waterfront community or a policy, and if you have a preference for one. Thank you.
No, Jack goes first this time.
Georgetown has always been a working waterfront community in my mind for generations. I fully support the working waterfront. I know as a select board member, I had to deal with a lot of calls and complaints about the working waterfront. So I want to make sure that we are known as a working waterfront. I know there's been discussion about a possible ordinance. I've also heard that there was talk about a proclamation. So I'm not quite sure how all of that works forward, but I just want to make sure that we are known as a working waterfront. And I think it should be right at the top of our webpage and everywhere else. Georgetown, a working waterfront. We're an island community.
So it sounds like you would support an ordinance or policy, or do you have a preference, Jeff? And I'll ask Kathy the same.
It's hard to know, knowing what the ordinance would be trying to do. I know most of the work that's done on the waterfront is state level stuff, lobstermen, et cetera, so they're already governed by, under state controls. So I'm not quite sure what it involves, whether it's zones in town that are specific waterfront areas. It's something that needs to be discussed, but I certainly would support a proclamation or whatever, saying we are a working waterfront, because we are.
For generations.
And I agree with Jeff that I'm looking forward to public hearings or discussions about whatever they're going to recommend. I feel very strongly that our working waterfront is part of what makes Georgetown what it is. It's alive, it's vital. We're facing environmental issues, like green crabs, storms, warming waters. We're facing tariff issues, higher costs of equipment, fuel, mandated closures, which sometimes are not even on state level, they're federal. So there are all kinds of things. We have issues with public access points. We only have a couple in town, and I know that a group after the comprehensive plan, a group looked for others and may have some more recommendations. I don't know if anyone's here tonight that was part of that, but it's definitely important for us. And I just think the working waterfront needs to get recognition and respect for what they are to Georgetown. They're part of our identity.
Question.
I want to just give a question to online, because again, I'm backing up a little bit. How should this is from Margaret McDermott, how should Georgetown balance conservation, housing, and infrastructure needs? How to balance conservation, housing, and infrastructure needs? Now I can't remember, I think it was you go first.
Okay, I think they're tied. You can't consider one without considering the other. Because housing requires, right now, the minimum lot size is based on wastewater, systems, and our available well water, groundwater is also very closely tied to lot size. We have, when you look at the clustered communities of Five Islands, Big Point, we run out of water every summer. A lot of the houses in those places, and there are other places around the island too. But I think if you're going to look at larger lots, minimum property sizes, you're gonna look at more expensive property. So there's a ton. We need to have a better sense of how much water we have in our aquifers. Our aquifers are replenished from the sky. There's a lot of runoff. We do have a lot of conservation land in Georgetown. We meet the state requirements on conservation land, which is good news. And our conserved lands conserve resources, because they are a place that helps to replenish our water supply. But beyond that, I don't know, it's a complicated issue.
Well, I agree, it is a very complicated issue. We're fortunate that we have a minimum lot size of 2 acres currently, where you can have ADUs on, but it's everything Kathy said. I mean, we have a lens underneath us and our water is captured from above. And another big concern is septic. You know, we have to, it's a tough balance, and I certainly won't be able to address that in 12 weeks.
Go ahead. Diane Longstreet, you said limited public access. So that kind of throws me a minute, because I think of the 13 trails on Georgetown. There's lots of places that there's public access. So we're talking about just public access to water, because we have the state park, we have, you know, different places that are public that have some of access. Are we talking about transferring, going across properties people would like to go across because they like the view in that particular property? What are we talking about in public access?
I was referring to water access as it might be used by working waterfront. People reaching the shore for clamming or aquaculture, people looking for places to launch a boat.
There are public landings.
There are.
Todd's Landing is a public landing, and you can go off of the town.
Yes.
I'm
And
saying,
the Nature Conservancy allows you to land on Ledgewood for canoes and kayaks.
and that land, that whole private area was changed.
I don't understand that.
That would used to be more of a conservatory, and then it was made private.
I know this has been a question for Georgetown as long as I've been in town.
Yeah.
Is there's very little public access to the waterfront. There are properties in town that could be acquired that could provide more.
The town has
public-
been given opportunities to purchase land.
Correct,
And I'll use the Peters property as an example. So I mean, there have been opportunities to purchase the land, but the town has preferred not to buy the land
correct,
because they didn't want to spend the money.
correct,
So, I mean, there's opportunities, but that's the town's choice.
correct.
So it's not a question of having limited access. It's the town's choice not to purchase the land.
So that's something that's gonna keep coming up.
Yeah.
And it's something that's one of the waterfront issues, that the town needs more access to water.
Okay, I want to ask another question from online, which is from John Joseph Smith. Please explain what principal difference you see from your opponent. Please explain what principal difference you see from your opponent. Jeff, I think you go first this time. I'm writing it down. She's female, you're male.
I think the only real difference is that I have sat in the chair for 18 years as a select person.
I would agree. I think we're coming at it from slightly different places, which is probably a strength for each of us. But I've had, you know, many years, 12 years at least, with the Conservation Commission, and now look back at some of the other committees that I've been on. I'm also looking at town government, so I just look at it from a different place, and I think it's really important to look at it from lots of different ways. It's like an elephant and the, the blind people and the elephant, and then one of them thought it was like a snake and one of them thought it was like a church. It's just no matter where we are, we're gonna see a different part of our town government. So as long as we're both, well, either one of us is respectful of that, we're good.
Other questions in the room here? Jen Dobransky has a question for you, Jeff. You previously served on the select board for 18 years and then stepped away. Can you share what led you to leave at that time? What has changed that makes you want to return now? What year was that, and how you've remained involved in Georgetown in the meantime, including which committees, boards, initiatives, or town efforts you're currently? So you want me to repeat that, Jen?
No, I got it. 2018, 2019 is when my last term ended. I've done 6 terms on the board, so 18 years. And I thought it was time for opportunities for other people to come up and serve the town. I was getting close to retirement age, and I just thought it was a good time. 18 years is a long time to do it. The reason I threw my hat in the ring now was I'm an alternate on the financial advisory committee, and I thought I have the skill sets. I've done it for a lot. It's a short period of time. It was a way I could continue to help and just help for the end of Broadman's term. I had no desire to continue on. I just wanted to help out for that short period of time.
Okay. Other questions in the room here?
I have a question. I just want to thank you both for your willingness to run, and we'll be happy to serve with either one of you. So Georgetown's lucky to have you both as candidates, and thank you very much.
Any questions from online? Susie Wren has a comment, which is similar to Eric Arias. A generous person wanting to fill in for the interim may not need to answer these long-lasting questions. Both candidates are showing great generosity. Any questions, though, from the folks online? Any further questions in the room? Well, each of you can have a few minutes. Make it brief, please, because we all want to see that last little bit of the Olympics.
If I went first in the beginning, did she go
Yeah,
first? At the
no,
end?
you still now get the last one.
Oh, okay.
Got the first word, she'll get the last one. That's how it is.
Thank you all for participating. I love Georgetown and happy serving the town for those 18 years. And if I do it again, that's great. And if elected, I will serve. And thank you, Pat, for running. Thank you all for participating.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming out and for tuning in and for sharing some really good questions and concerns. I think that working together, we will take good care of our town as we are taking good care of our town right now. Please stay warm, stay safe, and remember that mud season is only a little bit more than a month away. Please vote next week. Please vote for me if you're inclined, but your vote matters no matter what. Thank you all.
Okay.
And Nancy,
So, I'd like to, again, extend my thanks to all of you. The best thing about Georgetown is look at how many people are participating. How many did we have? 27 online, right? I mean, there's a couple of duplicates, but 27, let's just call it 25 people online. And I don't know how many did you count in the room here, but this is great for a Tuesday night. And this is just what Georgetown is all about. So thank you all. Just a reminder, I believe that absentee ballots are available until Thursday, close of business. So if you need to vote absentee, and also the election is a week from today, in this room, starting at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., excuse me, 10 a.m. and till 8, 10 a.m. till 8.
Nancy, what happens if it's,
If it snows, what happens?
Will, it'll still be held, yes,
It'll still be held.
like post office here now.
Democracy goes on. So thank you all very much for coming, and thank you for being Georgetown.
And I would encourage the number of people that are here for this to show up at our select board meetings. We have anywhere from 4 to 14, but we'd love to have more people attend and be engaged in our meetings. So let's make this a habit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Tyler.
Yeah.